Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, taking you through today week 11 of our 13-week preseason training program. But listen, before we get started explaining what's going on, YouTube has been acting a little bit weird lately, so make sure if you are not already, subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button down there, and also click the bell notification icon. A lot of people were probably subscribed to this channel before you had to click the bell to get the notification. So make sure that you click that bell as well. I've had a lot of people that are saying things like, why aren't you putting out a video every week like you always used to? We still are putting out at least one video every single week here on YouTube. So if you're not getting the notifications, make sure you click that bell. All right, so week 11. Now, understand, we've said it plenty of times in previous videos, we are going to be maxing out on week 13. We're going to get to that at week 13. But week 11 is really our last heavy week of training as we get prepared and as we get ready to do that max testing in 2 weeks. So today we're going to be introducing you to a new principle of overload. We're going to actually go higher than the expected 1 rep max of your athletes. We're going to show you what that looks like. We're doing that for a few reasons. Number one, we want to increase confidence. We want to make sure that when they have heavy weight on their back or when they have heavy weight in their hands, that they know what it feels like and they're ready for that feeling. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to increase trust. Now, should hopefully be working with a team or working with some partners in the gym. We want you to have trust in your spotters and to have trust in the people who are going to be watching you week 13 when you do max out. That's a super important part of this. So this is going to help you to develop that trust with your weightlifting partners and going to start increasing morale again. So a lot of times what starts to happen is the beginning of the preseason, the team gets back together again, they're working with the coach again, everyone's getting in there, everyone's excited for the first couple of weeks. And then things start to get stale because it's just more work over and over and over and over again. Now we really start to push, and now we really start to tell our athletes we need to step it up another level. We need to make a couple of giant jumps here over the next few weeks before testing. It's going to increase morale. Hopefully it gets people a little bit more fired up because they know they're going to be pushing themselves harder than ever before. So just some things to think about as we enter into week 11, our last heavy week of this preseason training cycle. All right, so let's take a look at day 1. Day 1 is your squat day, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working up to 5 sets of 5 singles, based on the 2 rep max that we found out a couple weeks ago. So everything that we're going to do here is going to be a confidence booster, a confidence builder, and I'm going to show you why. Remember, we're basing everything on what your athlete can do for 2 repetitions right in a row. But we're only going to be doing 1 repetition with that weight. So you can see how in their brain they're going to be thinking, well, I did this for 2, I can easily do it for 1. That's how we're going to push them. That's how we're going to get their confidence up. And we're going to go higher than 100% of their 2 rep max to build their confidence even more. So the first thing we're going to do is a warm up, 50% for a set of 5, very simple, 60% for a set of 3, and then we're going to start our singles. So 70% of the 2 rep max for 1, 80% of the 2 rep max for 1, 90% of their 2 rep max for 1, 100% of their 2 rep max for 1, and then finally 105% of their 2 rep max for 1. Now, if they've been doing everything correctly, adding 5% to their 2 rep max and doing that for 1 repetition should be very easy. So seeing that number, 105%, should make them kind of nervous. But when they get in there, they put it on their back and they squat it down and up like it's nothing, it's going to increase their confidence. When they're getting things like 100%, this is the heaviest weight they've had on their back since they've actually done their 2 rep max. So they're going to be a little nervous getting into it. They're going to be a little bit nervous picking these numbers and putting this weight on the bar. But what's going to happen is they're going to hit these super easy, and their confidence is going to increase. And that's a huge thing that needs to happen going into the testing week. Then after that, we're going to do 3 rounds, and we're going to go super heavy weight. We're talking 120%, maybe even more of their 2 rep max. And we're just going to walk that out. We're going to put the weight on our backs. We're going to walk that out, and we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. And we're going to do that for 3 rounds. Okay, so again, what are we doing? holding that weight on our backs is doing a few things. Number one, it's getting your body ready to have heavy weight on its back. It's getting your body used to the feeling of having that bar on their back with a maximal weight on it. Okay, so we're kind of priming the body, priming the nervous system to say, okay, this is what it's going to feel like, not a big deal. I'm going to hold it for 30 seconds, not a big deal. It's also going to increase trust in the spotters, because when you walk that thing out and it feels heavy, it's going to be pretty good knowing that you've got people who are spotting you, people that are watching out for you. It's going to increase their trust so that they know, hey, when it comes time to max, I'm going to be all good. Okay, but the other thing that it's really going to do, and we already kind of talked about this a little bit, is it's going to increase morale. When they have more than 100% of their 2 rep max, when they've got 120 plus percentage on their back, everyone's going to get fired up. It's probably more weight than anyone has done in a long time in the weight room. Everyone on the team is going to be looking at them. Everyone on the team is going to be cheering them on. It's going to increase morale, get them feeling good in the weight room. So what's this look like? Let's grab a marker. So say, just again, for the sake of easy math, say your 2 rep max is 300 pounds. I'm going to do 150 for 5. Pretty simple. Now maybe you do more than that. Maybe you start off with even lighter than that and you do like a set of 6. So you start with the empty bar and you slightly increase. Totally up to you. And then we're going to be going here to 180 for 3, 210 for 1. Again, very, very simple. You did 300 for a double. 210 for 1, it's nothing. Then we're going to go 240, we're going to do 270, and then we're going to be at 300. Now from here, this is where you increase. So now you're going to put 315 on your back, and you're going to do that for a single. So again, heavier than their 2 rep max, heavier than they've gone in quite a few weeks, and we're going to be doing that for a single. Then we're going to do 3 rounds of about 120%. So now here's what I want you to do. It's going to sound crazy, but I want you to put like 360 on the bar. So that's 120% of 300 is 360. So put 360, 365 on the bar, have them walk it out and hold it for 30 seconds for 3 rounds. That's really going to make them nervous, but they're going to do it. They're going to feel fine. Confidence is increased. After we do this, the next thing we're going to do is sort of a decompression kind of stretching circuit afterwards. So hanging leg raise, what's that going to do? With the legs hanging, we're going to slightly decompress and stretch out the spine so that their lower back feels good. We just went 120%. We just kind of squished their vertebrae. Now we're going to start to lengthen them, open them up again, get some blood and whatnot and some fluids flowing to that area. We're going to do the lunge and reach, and then we're going to do dead bugs. Remember, both of those are in the warm-up. Click that card that just popped up, sign up for the newsletter, and get that warm-up video. It's at the bottom of every single newsletter, and I send that newsletter out every single week, so make sure you get that as well. But we're going to go through the lunge and reach, 3 sets of 10 per leg. Dead bugs, 3 sets of 10. We're going to do 5 per leg or 5 per side. You'll see what that is in the warm-up. Okay, and that's it. We're overloading. It doesn't seem like a ton of work. It's probably not going to take you a really long time to do in the weight room. If you're normally in there for an hour and 15, this might only take like 45 or 50 minutes because it is pretty quick, but it's going to get their confidence up. It's going to boost morale. It's going to get them feeling ready to max out on week 13. All right, so that's squat day. That's sort of the long explanation of what this is like. I'm going to show you day 2, which is upper body, kind of looks like this. Day 3, which is deadlift. It looks a little bit different, but the same concepts apply. Okay, next on the menu is day 2, which is your upper body. This is your bench day. Okay, so you should notice this looks almost exactly like squat day. It's the same percentages, it's the same idea, it's the same philosophy. We're just overloading. So quickly go through this. You're going to take, again, your 2 rep max on bench, and you're going to do 5 sets of 1. Now, I based the numbers on, obviously, 200 pounds. So 50% of 200, you're going to do 100 pounds for 5 repetitions. And then 120 for 3, 140 for 1, 160 for 1, 180 for 1, 200 for 1. Now, they did 200 for 2. So 200 for 1, very easy. Confidence is boosting. 105 for 1. What are we going to do? This is heavier than I've done in weeks. So you put 210 on the bar, boom, they bang it out for an easy single. Confidence is up. morale is up, everyone's excited, everyone's ready to test on week 13. But then we have to overload. Okay, so same idea. We're going to do 3 rounds, really, really heavy weight. All we're going to do is have them unrack the bar and hold it there for 30 seconds. So they're going to be shaken, it's going to feel heavy, but you're going to have spotters on each side and somebody behind them. Just holding that weight in their hand is going to just get their body used to it. Just get their body used to the feeling. They haven't had really heavy maximal weight in their hand in quite a few weeks. So it's a good way to get them used to the feeling of that heavy weight in their hand. 3 rounds, about 30 seconds. And you want to be in that 240, 250 range. Really overload them. Really go crazy. Really go heavy with this stuff. I mean, you don't want them to like break their arms or anything like that, or like fracture their forearms or anything crazy. But if you put 230, 240, maybe even more than that on there, they're going to get the feeling, they're going to get the idea, and they're going to be primed and ready to go. Okay, after that, a little bit more of that deload-ish kind of circuit, that sort of recovery type circuit, if you want to call it that. Face pulls, we're going to do 3 sets of 30. Tricep press downs, we're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 12. And then band pull-aparts, 3 sets of 15. Again, the pull-aparts, I believe, are in the warm-up video, which is right up there. If not, very simple. There's a million different ways to do a band pull-apart. There's a million different ways to do face pulls. Maybe not a million, maybe like 150 ways to do face pulls, 150 different band pull-aparts. Search it here on YouTube. It's underneath this channel somewhere. Or if you just go to YouTube and type band pull-apart, you're going to get 100 videos that pop up to show you exactly what that looks like. All right, so day 2, bench, very simple, very similar to day 1, which is your squat. Deadlift is where things get a little bit different. We're still going to be doing some overload, but it's not going to be 120% or anything crazy, because you do have to pull it off the ground. All right, so now for deadlift day, it's a little bit different, but what we're going to have you do is take a look at what you did last week. Last week we worked up to 80 to 85%. This week we're going to be working up to 90%. So it's going to be a little bit heavier than we had in our hands last week, but it's going to be for fewer repetitions, or fewer sets, I should say, at that single repetition. I think last week was something like 6 sets or 5 sets of 1, maybe even 7 sets of 1. But for this week, we're only doing 3 sets of 1, but at a little bit heavier of a weight. Okay, so let me take you through it. So day 3, deadlift, 3 sets of 1, based again on what we did last week and the weeks before, which is your 2 rep max. So kind of go through, take a look, make sure it's heavier than last week. Deadlifts can be tricky because sometimes end of the week you're fatigued. Sometimes you do it on a Friday. Maybe you or your athletes aren't able to do it because of other obligations at school, maybe going to the football game, parents are going away for the weekend, whatever. So deadlifts can be a little bit tricky, but just go back and look at what you did the previous weeks and make it a little bit heavier by about 5%. Okay, so here's in a perfect world. Say you had a 400-pound deadlift. You're going to put 200 pounds on the bar, 5 repetitions, 240 on the bar, 3 repetitions, 280 on the bar for a single, very easy weight for someone that deadlifts 400, 320 on the bar for a single, again, pretty simple weight for someone who deadlifts 400, and then 90% for 3 sets of 1. So you're going to put 360 on the bar, do 1 repetition, put it down. 360 on the bar again, 1 repetition, put it down, and then leave that 360 on the bar, do it for 1 more repetition, and then you're done. Okay, so again, heavier weight than they've had in their hands for quite a long time, but making sure that they're getting confident with the weight. All of these should be coming off the ground very quickly. They should be very confident in pulling these off the ground, and they should feel good about themselves when they're done with the workout. Last but not least, we have again one of those decompression, stretching type circuits, things that are going to help them to recover, things that are going to help them feel better after a long workout. Pull downs or pull ups, 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Again, what are we doing? We're stretching out that spine a little bit, decompressing that spine a little bit by hanging from a bar or by having the pull down machine kind of stretch and pull our arms overhead. It's just going to help to kind of increase the flexibility, the mobility. We just squished your spine. Now we're starting to lengthen the spine a little bit. High plank, 3 sets of about 45 seconds. And then fire hydrants, which are once again in the warm-up that you should have clicked on already. 3 sets of 10 forwards and backwards per leg. You will see that in the warm-up, so make sure to go check that out. Okay, and that takes care of it, guys. This is week 11. This is our last heavy week. We're building confidence. We're building morale. We're getting them used to having the weight on their back, used to having the weight in their hands, getting them ready for next week. So make sure, a bunch of stuff just popped up on the screen. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and check out all these other videos to, see what we've been doing. Stay in touch with what we're doing in the next couple of weeks. This is coming to an end, in season starting up, so click all this stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe, click the bell, and you're good to go. All right, thanks so much for checking out the video. Talk to you all real soon.